Hi, welcome to the channel. Well, today I'm in North Yorkshire. A bit of a treat out. I used to come around this way a lot at one time. I first started coming around here with my parents in the 70s in their caravan, early 70s, about 1970 actually. Years before Mathewsons were here. Anyway, I've come to Mathewsons because I've come to look at the little Mathewsons camper van that I knew about, and also the Willerby as well. And I rang them up and they've given me permission to come and film, so hopefully that still stands. I'm here and I'm going to have a quick look, see inside. Right, well, I've just been and signed in. I think it was the son I spoke to. Real nice guy, very down to earth. And he said, yeah, you're the guy that emailed the other day. And I said, yeah, that's me. So he said, yeah, fire away and go and do whatever. So gave him a bit of info what I'd done on the van. So I featured the Caravan in Practical Caravan, and I'd featured the Mathewsons camper motorhome in a magazine that's no longer around called Caravan magazine. So I must dig those out. I will have them somewhere. Well, I know I will, it's just getting to them. Right, here we go. I noticed an old horse sleeper there before. I just took a snap of that. A couple of motorhomes in here. I'm up for sale here. These cars, all the cars here. Some modern classics, as you'd say. Let's have a look. Now, yes, I found one Caravan. Let's have a look, see what else there is in here. Some very smart motors. The usual scenario of Mathewsons and things. Oh, a marina ice cream van. Bit unusual. Got a big Citroen. One of my neighbours had one of these many moons ago. He was always having problems with it. Cavalier Cabaret. Oh God. Yeah. Now my dad had a Cavalier like that, but he didn't have the soft top version. It was an SR, I think it was, or something. He didn't have it 5 minutes. It got stolen and it was never seen again. It's rather a shame. Anyway, let's go and find these vans. Oh, the trouble is when I come here, something like this, I just can't help looking at the cars on my way over. But I don't know if we're going to get inside that van, unfortunately. Be good if I could. Have a look. Oh, Opel Mantas. Gosh. Brilliant. Right, here we go. Oh, look at that Datsun. L-Reg 73. Datsun 180B. I had one, but mine was an R-Reg. It was a different vehicle to that, that's for sure. Anyway, right. I found it. Here it is. This is James Lambert's Mathewsons, as I remember it. Probably then it was looking a little bit better, but you are talking 22 years ago I last saw this vehicle. And James told me how he'd made it. It was a Mathewsons van that he took the back off and decided he was going to try and do a coach-built motorhome bit on it. And, okay, as somebody said, it doesn't look very pretty, but, we're talking this was done 45 years ago. And James did it mainly as a way to see if it could be done. Now, let's have a look round. Now, a lot of this was made out of ex-caravan stuff and Astral caravans. Now the door's open, I'm going to go and look in there in a moment. But Stiffened up the springs obviously at the back. The old style 70s windows. Oh, we've got that radio on there. We don't want that, do we? Because we're going to get done on copyright if we're not careful. So we're going to get stuck there if we're not careful. Yeah, I might have to overdub that. Yeah. But, yeah, we're going to have to dub that music out, I think. But these mirrors, these were called boomerang mirrors, and they were meant for people towing a caravan. And what you did was you put these on so you could obviously see behind the caravan, and then you just sort of normally use them like a normal mirror on a car. That was the idea. Engine looks pretty okay from what I know about engines, but anyway, what I'm going to do is, it's a bit of a shame that speaker is right by us. I will get copyright strike on this, no doubt, and that's no good for me because I don't get any royalties at all. But there we go. So let's go inside. Right, this is what I've come to see now. Oh, it's very difficult to get in. There's no step. It's quite high up. Now it's full of stuff. It's just been brought as it was left, really. Now I'm trying to get this sort of moved around. What I did find was this bit of a thing here with it's like a bit of a scrapbook of all bits and bobs of James, what was included. You know, bits of snippets he took of bits about his vehicle and others. Let's just try and get this in here a minute. Sorry about this, it's really not easy to get in and out. I couldn't remember it being as difficult as this last time, but I was a bit younger as well. Let's have a look, just hang on a second. Right, we might be better now without that on. Right, so I'm inside. As I say, there's all sorts of bits of stuff in here, and it is exactly as I remembered it, really. See if we can get a little bit more light. There's no lighting, of course, because obviously nothing's wired up. So a lot of this was made from Astral Caravans. Astral Caravans was a big manufacturer in Hull in the 70s, where actually, well, 60s and 70s, where James actually worked for some years, and he knew the marshal, the family who had Astral, and they the Spooner family, and he worked for them, and he got bits and pieces from, got all the offcuts and things off the vans, made up the body shell. And this is old furniture from probably around about 1970, 71. Just judging at it, I'm not absolutely sure on that. Probably even late 60s. Stainless steel sink in there. Is all there with its... it should be, I think it's a foot operator, a little electric button thing there to operate the cold water only. Little gas burner, 2-burner hob and grill. And also there's all sorts of stuff in here. Don't really want to pry. A lot of stuff on Mathewsons. I was thinking that he may have just had, by perchance, the feature I did, but maybe not. But this is the sort of things he did. He was brilliant at his drawing. And he also made model cars, and he did his own. He was an incredible, clever guy. I mean, I remember sort of being. I think that's one of his. I don't know, you can see it proper with a proper Mathewsons. But he was such an interesting guy to talk to, and It's got here about Showman's van rescue here. Say, I can't read that really very well, unfortunately. Which was over there, so I'll have a look at that in a moment. But these cars that he did, they were fantastic. I mean, you can't really see them here very well. I'm sorry about that. But I saw them in the flesh, and I'm not sure if they've got some here. So if we find them, we'll have a look. That's one. I think that's his grandchildren there. Bless him. But anyway, let's carry on around. So we've got a little end dinette here, which you'd probably just about get away with sleeping 2 people. Don't forget, in a 10'6" Caravan 4-berth, back in the 60s and into the early 70s, when before the layout went out of fashion, that would be the size of dinette you had, and 4 of you would sit round there. Obviously the table would have been bigger, but James just did this for, I think, just for him and his wife, and all he did really was for showing it at shows. And you know, he would have stopped the odd night over with it, I'm sure he did. But I just love it. I just love the fact is that what he's done. Big locker over the top there. The old Labcraft early 80s 12-volt lighting in there. And then you've got... Now the upholstery is different from what that he showed me. So he must have updated his upholstery a little bit in the 90s, I think. 12-volt spot lamps as you used to get them then. The corner lights. That's how big they used to be, but you put the helmets up here. Now these curtains, I'm sure he told me, those were from around the late 60s. And look at them, they're still in one piece. The windows are the Caravan windows. He's got his wardrobe here. I won't pry into that. Wheel box cover there. He's got his storage underneath those there. This is incredible. To come back into it again after 22 years, it's quite amazing. I just wish James was here to go through it again. Radio cassette there, little clock, more storage here. Again, caravan door, stable door, and of course you've got a little bed here. Now that was just made for a grandchild, I think. Obviously you wouldn't get anybody much bigger, you know, a small person to be up there, you know, get a 3-year-old maybe if you're lucky. And then underneath here you've got the cab, and there it is, Mathewsons cab. Now I'll tell you a little story. Back in the day, many moons ago, a friend of mine who lived on a farm, he acquired a Mathewsons van, which was a 1966 model. And he bought it for £5 in 1973, and him and his brother, they got the gearbox out, got another gearbox on the scrapyard, and we were up and we used to go on the fields with it. It used to leak petrol as well. How we never set fire to ourselves, I don't know. We used to do handbrake turns. I remember doing one 40 miles an hour in the field with this, and that was not much fun. With the Mathewsons, it was always overboiling because the engine was always working hard, but we weren't going very quick. But it just takes me all back. I mean, this is a unique thing. This is for somebody who wants something to show, and probably it'll need some bit of TLC on it. Get it something like, because it could easily be done. And it's a real little novelty. And as I say, Oxford Diecast Toys made a actual replica of this. And I don't know if they'd asked James's permission for that. There's all these things for his cups and stuff. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, it's I just hope it goes to somebody who really will look after it. But I never thought I'd ever be in here again. And I'm glad I am. I really am. Yeah. So you're looking down, James. I hope it finds a good home for you. I know you'd like to see it go to a good home. He really would. But yeah, it's fascinating. I find it fascinating anyway. And I think this as well, you could take out. So you didn't have to have this above here. And I think he probably would have used this as storage if I remembered. He told me. But I mean, lots of windows. Probably a bit too many windows for the size of the area, but it's great. I'm glad Mathewsons actually allowed me to come and do this, because I didn't think they would. But I told them what I did and who I was, and sent them a couple of copies of the books and the pictures of this when it was, you know, a bit newer, 20 odd years ago. And they said, yeah, come on up, you're all right. Right, well, let's go and find this. Going to go look at this Showman's Caravan, because I've not. I remember seeing that. I remember James showing me that, but I think it was in a bit of a dilapidated state when I saw it. So let's go and see that. I found this Showman's van, and I can remember. I think I can remember him having this. I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm looking at it now. I can't get in it. I'm going to see if I can get in it. If I can, I'll get some pics and stuff. But at the moment, I'm just going outside, and I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I don't know nothing about these. It's got the old lantern roof on the top there, popular feature up until sort of really the 70s. That, and then I'm looking at the towing gear, and I think that is something that maybe he's added. But then again, I'm not sure, because that looks a coupling from sort of, I'd say, the 40s, 30s. And I looked at the top here and thought, oh, Southern Company Limited, Brighouse, Yorkshire. That was a manufacturer. Now, I thought, I don't really know then. And then, all of a sudden, I started to remember, I've got a brochure on our Southern, one of their caravans called, I think it was called the Northern Queen. I'm going to try and dig it out if I can. And I can't remember what year it is, but it's a very fanciful design. In fact, I'm not sure if I've featured it in a visual history of the Caravan, but I'm not sure. I may not have done. I might have dreamt that bit. But I would say this is late 30s, maybe 40s. As I say, look at the big wheel, typical sort of showman type thing. And I love this door on it. I presume that's original, I'm not sure. I'd like to think so. But it's built like a battle tank. Battleship, should I say. Look at that. A bay window at the end there. I'm not sure we towed this with a Range Rover. I'm not sure. Or a wagon. I can't remember. But anyway. Southern Queen. I think it was called the Southern Queen that this manufacturer at Southern & Co. produced. And I'm going to try and dig that out, because it's obviously the same, and it was Brighouse, so it's the same manufacturer. But they were a specialist manufacturer, as there was a lot around in those days. I just love it. Look at I mean, this is typical of what James did. He was absolutely fantastic at restoring stuff and making it look absolutely pristine again. I knew a guy called Mike Wire. I've spoken about him before, and Mike was, again, sadly he's no longer with us, but again he was another. He was just a craftsman, and I envy these people, because they really, really were very, very good and very clever as far as I can see. But I love the overhanging eave at the back, very typical sort of showman van. So this would belong to somebody like a circus. More than likely it would be a circus of some description, and that they would live in this. I'm just trying to see inside, but I'm going to try and get the keys on that, so we'll see. I'm going to try and find the Willerby now. We'll try and come back to that. God, I've always wanted to come here. They've expanded a lot. I went originally to the place where they really were. I get a story. I'm getting carried away with cars here. Vauxhall Chevette. My dad had a white one. Not as jazzed up as a 1-point GL, I think my dad had. It used to stick to the road like glue. On our edge. TAY treble 2R. I remember the number plate on it. Opel. Little Opel Cadet. Yeah, gosh. Some brilliant cars, isn't there? We look at them in rose-coloured glasses and thought they were great all the time, but I suppose they weren't really sometimes. They broke down a lot and, yeah, rotted away usually. Well, I was just going at the top there, walking out, and I saw one of the staff and I said, you don't know if who'd got the keys, if I could go and have a look in the Showman's van. And he said, yeah, I've got it. I'll open it up for you. It's brilliant, fantastic. So I'm in it. Now, I'm trying to remember, James had just got this when I saw him, and it was in a bit of a tumbled mess. It wasn't brilliant. And I never saw it restored, but I know he went on the historic caravan scene and it went and restored it. I'm not sure if he towed it with a Range Rover or a wagon or something. I think he had a bigger one this as well, I'm not sure. But this, as I say, is quite a beautiful van inside. I mean, once you got everything cleared up in here and the lights is on, but I'm going to show you, let's go and have a tour around here. You've got to look at this. This would have cost a good figure. Now, I'm trying to put a date on it, and I'm trying to think maybe possibly late 30s. If not late 30s, I don't know, late 40s. I'd have to have a look because it was a specialist company. Our Southern would have just built specials. Now, let's have a quick tour around here because this is something that you'll never see. That's pretty, very, very rare. I'm going to start off at this front end, and it's like an L-shaped front lounge. And I love this little freestanding chair. Now, whether that was with it or not, I don't know. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, it's very dark in here. I'll see if I can just brighten that up a bit, and I haven't got a light with me. Let's see if we can just brighten that up a wee bit more. Yeah, they've got that little bay window locker at the top. Look at the glass. And at the top here. And so I'm getting so excited about this. Oh, God, even that little chair weighs a ton. You've got over here some built-in cupboards. Let me just go down a minute on this. Right, and the cupboards, look how they're built in now. Do you remember when I looked at that canals? And we were saying about, and I didn't show you the cupboards, I don't think, or did I? I think I did, and the cupboards were like built into the side of the body. Well, look, here we have it. Same idea, but beaten by about 80 years. So, nice little cupboards there. Again, on that side as well. Wardrobe here. We'll do this side of the van. I've got to be careful, I just don't want to. And look at that cut glass mirror on the inside. Fantastic. Just proper. I mean, this doorway's it's just weight in it. And in those days, you used to have a key to lock your caravan wardrobe up. Even up until the 60s, that happened, especially on static vans. But look here, we've got this fireplace. It's like a domestic fireplace. Look at this. That is solid. That's your cooker. Or not your cooker, but your heater. Like a proper fire in a house. Look at that. And the lights above here as well. Oh, it's just super. I just think that's fantastic. I'm really bowled over this. I really am. Well, you know what I'm like. I just love stuff like this. And at first, the Showmans came out, I thought, yeah, it'd be nice to look at. But this really is exciting for me anyway. There's more cupboards over here. More drawers, should I say. Big drawers. Big window. As I say, we've got the lantern roofs up here, which is called the Mollycroft. And they were classed as the best for ventilation in a caravan. And they were sort of, that design was used for many, many years into the late 70s. And it did look very dated in the end. Sterling's used them. Welton even tried it and looked hideous on a Welton. In 75 when they did that, it looked really horrendous. But anyway, let's get back to this. So here's this cooker. Look at this cooker. Ancient, look at that. Plastic sink. The tap there, I think, would possibly have been melted later on. You've got lovely drawers underneath here. Look at that. Loads of lampshades here, because James would have done that. If he saw anything, he took it in case it would come in handy. and a corner unit there, light there, corner unit, and you've got your little window at the back because we're at the rear now. Little, and more storage up the top here. Look at the ornate roof, because Showman people were very, very proud of their trailers. It was their home, and you know, it would be something. The lovely it had, it just showed you how, yes, how well you'd done, and also that you just loved luxury. Again, we've got an old 80s Labcraft, I think it's the Labcraft fluorescent strip light, 12-volt light in there. It's fantastic, isn't it? Look, I love this seat here. Just to see, a shame there's not more light in here. It would look really good, but there isn't, unfortunately. But we've got, as a settee, but this would have made, I think, into a double bed, so it would have slept up to 4 people. But look at this, I just love it. It's glass. The hooks there been put up. The old style electric, because it would have had electrics put in here as well. Look at that. That fireplace, that's a gem. That's a gem. I'm sorry I'm getting so enthusiastic about this. I just love, it's just craftsmanship you don't see anymore. It's gone. It was an era where Showman manufacturers, where Caravan manufacturers, well, lots of specialist coach building manufacturers would have made this. To be quite honest, you know, what can you say? Those days are gone. The modern equivalents were sort of made by people like Astral and Aero, hull manufacturers, who did something but as a modern, like a big modern tourer, 22 foot long, which was classed then as a towable static. And Showman used those, and people at Astral would put all stainless steel sides on them and things like that, and inside it'd be cut glass. But by the sort of late 80s, 90s, we were seeing the likes of Hobby and Fent, LMC, taking that market. It was a bit of a shame, but these will never be repeated again. These are fantastic. Give me I'd love to hear your comments on this. But I'm glad I've got in it. I'm really glad. I'm glad I made the effort to get here today. I had to do some, you know, it's been, I was in London the other day and I was up Rugby Way, and I've done a bit of travelling around, and when I'm not doing anything at home, my work's piling up. But anyway, this is fantastic. I think you'll agree. So, what do you think? Comments, please, and put your comments and tell me what you think. This is like, I mean, this must weigh, I bet you're talking 3 ton. Must be. Solid though, solid wood, everything. Yeah, this was a different era. This would have been towed by a wagon back in the day, because that's what would have towed it. That would have been much else that could tow it. But I just love this fireplace. Imagine it, can't you? You know, just loading it up really, showing how well you'd done. But I love this cup. I love this glass. It's brilliant. Right, I'll see you on the next video. What am I saying about this here video? What I'm going to do, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to go now and see the Willerby. Go and have a look at that. And yeah, but I'm glad we've had a look at this. I'm going to tell the chap now he can now come. It's got a stable door look as well. Right, okay, let's go and find that Willerby, which is outside. Look at that. There's your lantern roof. Okay, let's go.